Okay, happy Friday. I'm filming it's the Friday whenever you're doing this. Happy day whenever you're doing it, and happy Friday as I'm filming. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, and I'm filming this Friday, 29 March 2024. This past Tuesday, I said I was working on reading a book, and I would decide at the end, if I finished the book, if I would do a book/reading notes video, and I had finished the book and I've decided to do a video. So this is my book/reading notes for my March 2024 reading of Forked, a New Standard for American Dining by Saru, and make sure I at least attempt the name, Jayaraman. Saru Jayaraman. And it's a 2016 Oxford University Press printing edition. Hardcover. This is what it looks like. Okay. And this is a copy that I got from I checked out from the library on Saturday, 9 March 2024 at Federal Way Library in Federal Way, King County, is part of the King County Library System, Washington State, United States of America, Planet Earth, the original. So this marked the first time I read this book. I had not read it before. And yeah, that's kind of the introduction and background about the book. So I do book notes. I'll do book notes for this one as well as reading notes. So book notes are construction, design, formatting, that kind of thing, and then reading notes on the content of the book. All right, so book notes. It's a shiny. I liked when I was at the library looking at the different nonfiction books. I liked the shiny, or as shiny like a fork. I thought that was, I liked that. It was clear. I flipped through the pages and saw the name Colicchio, and I was like, I used to watch Top Chef. Maybe I'll pick this book out. I did not look at about the author or any information like that. I read the front of... Did I? I read like the middle blurb of the book check. I didn't even read the whole thing. I just kind of flipped through it, looked at the table of contents. Table of contents is typically how I pick out a book. So I thought I appreciated the table of contents in the how the book is formatted and structured. There's 9 chapters and an index, and I thought it was pretty clear, kind of in terms of topical breakdown. And I was like, even if I don't know what this book is about, there are different topics, so maybe I'll be able to read it. I liked, it wasn't, some books have like double spacing these days. This is closer to 1.5, and in the 1 spacing 1.5 and 2, this is closer to 1.5. So I like that. There's text to read. Yeah, it didn't feel like there was too much blank space on the pages. There were a few pictures I thought that were, so the author is not white woman, and the only race/gender omitted from pictures in this book are white women. There's at least one picture of white men, non-white men, and non-white women. So the one in the white or non-white, white is the only entirely segregated from the book class, so to speak. And in terms of racial segregation, the author does that by omitting white women. So there's and I guess that's actually a note about formatting, is the author is a bit racist. So racism is what defined as structural and or systematic kind of mistreatment of an individual because of their race at the individual, institutional, organizational, yada 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 level. So it can be individual, and she actually, for companies that she highlights that were founded by white people, she put like 40 references, all negative about that chain, and then would cover something that was founded by non-white people and put 0 references and only say positive things. And I'm going, so essentially she harassed and discriminated against the white people 40 times and not once provided a shred of evidence that what she said about the other people was true, right? And there's a bit of if you want to be taken seriously, I come from background science, right, you need to be able to provide the negativity, right? So a number of the people she highlighted that were non-white broke immigration law, and she treated it as, oh my gosh, they are saviors to this country. And I'm like, as a Native American, get out, right? Don't follow the law to get here. It means leave in our eyes, right? We've been harassed for centuries, kind of thing. Well, not kind of thing, actual thing. My people have been massacred because of people like you, Saru. So, yeah. So, but so on the flip side, it's very obvious she's a racist individual, right? And that happened with repeated, right? So it was she was a repeat offender in that category. She targeted white individuals, multiple companies founded by white people, kind of thing. In terms of a thesis, if there is one, she absolutely failed at communicating that clearly. And backing it up. In the introduction, it really sounded like she was going for like tipping versus non-tipping wages and benefits, and that was kind of what she centered on. And then she didn't really ever delve into the meat of how that worked. All she did was talk about how white people harassed everybody else. And I was like, speaking as somebody who's had an Indian supervisor who harassed me because of my race/ethnicity and being a woman, well, isn't that convenient that you leave off your own people, right? I know from experience that your people harass as well, and especially this Native American on my own land, you know? So there's, it's insanely biased in that sense. Her kind of panty dropping habits, right? Of, you know, put a picture of a white man and then put a picture of an Indian woman and be like, women, go get him, right? This is a pristine white man. White women don't deserve white men. That was made very abundantly clear. Oh, and then the only other white man highlighted is one who did not marry a white woman in picture form. So, Saru, if you're watching this, yes, I do see you and your racism against me and my Native American and European ancestors. I hope you have found a new home in a country other than the United States of America, if you're seeing this. Okay? Stop harassing me and discriminating against me. That is my request, because of my ethnicities. Okay. YouTube has a discrimination policy, so we can hope you don't put out YouTube videos. Please stop. And so there we go. At the end, it kind of sounds like she wants everything to be fine dining. In the conclusion, that's kind of what comes across. And I was like, that did not come across until the conclusion. Personally, I believe drive-thrus in drive-in restaurants have a place. I'm fortunate to live in a place, I'm privileged to live in a place, Seattle, where we have the golden standard of a drive-in restaurant. A golden standard of a drive-in restaurant is a place where you can go in, dine in your car, and there is no drive-thru. So we have Dick's Drive-In and we have Burger Master, both founded in the 1950s, that do that. Some places have, you know, you can pull into a spot and they come out and bring your order out, but they also have a drive-thru. Those are golden standards. Dick's Drive-In and Burger Master don't do that right there. At least some of the locations don't do that, right? So you can dine in your car. Kind of thing. At Dick's Drive-In, get a park, go pick up the order, and then can dine in one's car. And then Burger Master is can dine in restaurant or drive up, pull, and then they bring the order out. You know, place your order and bring the order out. Kind of thing. So there we go. I believe in diversity of restaurant types, which this author is really pushes about how everybody should be working at the fine dining level at the end, and I'm kind of like, I'm open to diversity personally. Some people get really stuck in their ways of this is how the world should work, and that's kind of who the author is. So good for you, Sura, if you're watching this. We don't all, there's a diversity of opinions in the world. You're not representative of me. The author is not representative of me. And so that's kind of, oh, that's book notes. Oh, but it does relate, again, well, is that book, that's reading notes? That's actually not reading notes. That relates to the formatting. So for me, what are those? Are those reading notes? No, those are structural notes. It's reflected in the structure of the book. It's just not communicated clearly by the author. Do I have any reading notes? I don't actually have much reading notes. I finished it, right? So it's, while the author might be discriminatory, I've experienced that in a work setting, right? It's a good thing, I would actually say, for her to be outright racist, because it's easy to be like, okay, you hate me because I'm white and Native American, right? She really hates the original peoples. Like, at least she brings up white people in this book. She doesn't bring up any Native Americans. I'm like, you know, the massacre of my Lakota family is looking not so bad, you know? But at the same point, she's very, like, obvious about being racist against Native Americans and white people. So I'm kind of like, well, in that sense, I can easily be like, well, maybe what I should, in reading this, take what she says with a grain of salt, because it's not meant to be inclusive or accepting of people other than herself, who are different than herself, right? So in that sense, I actually do like the author, right? And I've experienced that with sexism too. It personally, as long as they kind of make it known, it's not actually like it becomes a whole lot easier to incorporate, kind of thing. Personal thing I've experienced. I was gonna highlight the fine dining section. It had Craft by Tom Colicchio, Top Chef Bravo, Top Chef, and the Capitol Grill. I've not eaten at either of those. It brought up a service thing, kind of, that actually underpinned both, and that was a person kind of fighting back against the bad government by being in high request. And I was like, you know, there's the problem with being in high request is, so I've decided to just kind of do the choose one that I mentioned back on this past Tuesday, is, so if somebody's in request by 600 people, one worker, and the others have 5 to 10 requests, if I'm going in with Katie Ledecky, Dustin Lasco, and Jay Latherland, and we have a table, and there's somebody in, we really wanted to eat at this restaurant, and the restaurant owners really wanted us to eat there, and this restaurateur that gets, or not, the server that has 600 requests takes us but doesn't want us because we didn't request them, and so they treat us a little bit worse, and we have a bad experience, but the owners wanted us, would have liked us to receive individualized attention, not discrimination and harassment, so to speak, compared to the server's equality standard of service. Right, then that can be reflected very poorly. So the server retaliating against the owners might hurt the restaurant, but might hurt the server's reputation. Most of all is, why was I mistreated relative to the other people this person serves? And they go, it's because they requested me. Let me be a juvenile child, right? And then at the same point, right, so then it's okay, it's better to have 5 to 10 requests if somebody high profile comes in. Katie Ledecky would be the high profile, not me. And Dustin Lasco would be the high profile, and Jay Lacker, not me. Tanis Coralee, she, hers of Seattle. In that group, anyway. Okay, so then I go in with Tegan Odell, who set the world record in the women's 400-meter long course individual medley at 4 minutes and 6.81 seconds back in 2022. After Mio Narita did some world-renowned record time, something like that. I go in with those two, Tegan Odell, Mio Narita, and how are we doing on time? Vivian Jackal. And we get completely snubbed. The person's like, I've been requested by 100 people. I don't have to serve you because there's a line at the door for me. And it's like, well, why is this person working here if they're not going to treat all people equal? All right. And then last one, that chip on their shoulder, 600 requests. I go in with all of my soulmates, which includes every male YouTuber in the swimming community. Yes, I'm married to all of them. Don't worry. Okay, so I take all of them. We all go into a restaurant. How are they going to serve us with only one person, 600 requests, and somebody who's like, I don't want to serve you. I only want to serve people who request me. I'm like, I haven't ever eaten here before. And I definitely would not request that individual, right? How are we going to get served? So I guess there's a little bit of, right, forked. We need servers who are willing to serve everybody and not hate on people because of their race like the author does. Yeah. So there we go. Am I hot and bothered from this book? No. I do actually, Suvra, if you're watching this, I do appreciate that you were very honest and open and upfront about it being racist. It actually is appreciated from this Native American European descent lady, she, her, hers. So those are my notes.